Hey everybody, Mike here. It's my birthday. I wasn't going to do a whole lot of content creation, but I decided to come back to Dim Sum Wendaoshi to explore their menu a little bit. I didn't really do a very thorough job last time since I only got 5 items and they've got like 60 on the menu. So let's try some more stuff. First couple of items that arrived. First, my lychee tea. Sweet, kind of herbal. It's actually gone. Let's see if I can fish one out. Some actual lychee in it. Real tiny ones, but it might have been dried. Might have been dried and reconstituted. I'm not sure. Next thing that came is some century egg on some tofu with a little cucumber. I think I'm going to use the spoon for this. This is a delicate balance. Let's try it. Even if you're not a fan of century eggs, with the tofu and the cucumber, the herbs, the soy and sesame oil, it kind of tamps down that sort of funkiness that you usually get. Thank you. You just get that really smooth, creamy yolk. Just a slight hint of sort of not really ammonia, but you know, I guess there's a little of that funkiness, but that's really, really tasty. Now, more fun. I got the prawns. Do this without spreading it all over the table. Hello. That's just a very, very thin sort of rice noodle. Sauce is interesting. It's really good. Shrimp inside is really plump and sweet. I like it. Some more items arrived. So this was listed as a more cheese dumpling. I like cheese. I'm worried this is nuclear hot. Get sauteed onion and chive in the center with this melted cheese on top. Very mild cheese. It's like almost like mozzarella. It might be mozzarella. I don't know. Maybe not. I'm not sure. Next up, deep fried fish maw. For the uninitiated, fish maw is the swim bladder of a fish. It helps it maintain neutral buoyancy while it's swimming through the water. Now, why eat it? Why not? fish chewy, slightly cartilaginous. They put a piece of pork on each one. A little bit of chili, but not spicy. Sesame seeds on there too. It's a texture that takes a little getting used to. A little bit of fried tofu going on here. Nothing wrong with that. Not a whole lot of flavor. Mostly the flavor of the fry oil. So I'm gonna get myself a little condiment cup to get some of their house chili sauce. It's thick today. Extra little bit of flavor. It's good on its own, but it's almost like a bar snack. Awesome. I'm gonna finish this up and get on with the rest of my day. Talk to you later. One more thing I forgot. The main course, sort of, deep fried pig trotter. Pig's feet? Oh yeah. Pig's feet. 5 spice. Fried onion, I think. Marinated, certainly. Probably braised first before they roasted it. Oh. There's pork skin, there's fat, there's cartilage, meat, of course. It's chewy with a crunchy exterior. The flavor's great. And it's something you just gotta pick over. I know, not for everybody, but it really should be. Ain't nothing wrong with that. For my official birthday dinner, I made the journey to the Three Peacocks Buffet in the Labrador Park area on the south side of the city. Here we see some refrigerated cases, some chafing dishes for hot foods, and some more. Refrigerator case here that actually has some sushi selections, limited of course, because that's not what they do, and one refrigerator case for the desserts, which I'm not all that excited about personally, but here's the first plate that I selected for myself from the prepared foods. For this first plate, I have up in the right-hand corner a cup of black currant juice, which was really refreshing because I was wilting under the heat, even with the air conditioners on. Well, blowers, really. We have here, from the 9 o'clock position, salmon, sashimi, and unagi. A couple of takoyaki, basically breaded and fried octopus balls. What I'm guessing was karaage chicken. It tasted like chicken, and it was definitely double fried. Those lumps at the 12 o'clock are breaded John Dory, supposedly. The pasta was triple bacon truffle carbonara pasta. That was what it was labeled. The sliced mushrooms that were visible there were not truffles, but I think they were, shiitake, or not shiitake, cremini rather, just sliced. But I think they had some truffle oil in it. It was really, really rich and decadent, and there was also a mix of stir-fried seafood, including baby octopus, squid, and spot prawns. The Yeah, yes, I have had better sushi, or sashimi, but again, sushi isn't what they specialize in. So I wasn't expecting great sushi. It was okay. The takoyaki were soft and pillowy with that nice chewy center with that bit of octopus in the middle. They're actually pretty good takoyaki considering it's not in Japan. The karaage chicken, honestly, karaage is not always my favorite. It's kind of hit and miss on the places that I've gotten it. It's kind of double fried to make it really, really crispy, but sometimes that means that the chicken itself is overcooked and it's almost, break your dental work kind of crunchy. The breaded John Dory was okay. At least that's what it was labeled as. I personally have a hard time telling one breaded fried piece of whitefish from another. So I'm trusting them that it was in fact John Dory. The pasta was really quite good. The triple bacon truffle. As I said, mushrooms were not truffles, but they did add to the overall mushroominess, and I think they did add the truffle oil. I actually went back for more later on, but that was actually quite a nice start. And, that's the start. On these plates here, my second, and again, these are fairly sparsely covered with food. I saw people loading up multiple plates and bringing them back to the table all at once. So I didn't want to be quite that conspicuous of a consumer that night. So I went back a couple times and loaded up this size. So what we have here, the King Bolete mushroom, some kalbi beef, the long strips were Wagyu short rib. There's some what was labeled as sliced tri-tip. I'm not sure. There's a slipper lobster here. Underneath there are some razor clams, and I have Sri Lankan crab. And just visible off to the left is a little tray of sauces. There's chili crab sauce, a lemon butter sauce on the left, and the one in the middle, I don't remember. I think that was kind of sort of hollandaise, and a couple of mantou. These are just some sort of baked buns. Pretty fluffy, but they're good for dipping. Now, the Three Peacocks Buffet is a Korean-style barbecue place. So you get yourself a plate or three of meats, vegetables, and seafood, all raw. And eventually, the staff bring out a brazier of blazing hot lump charcoal, which is much more fun than a brazier full of hot charcoal. And a steel mesh grate to place atop it. And you'll notice they also have foil to put on there, and a set of tools and utensils for each table. The foil is there so you kind of keep the grates clean so you don't have food stuck to the grates. And it helps retain juices a bit, so they kind of cook in their own juices. You sit there and take as long as it takes for you to cook your food. They don't really direct you at all, but it's always a good idea to kind of segregate the utensils you're using to handle raw food and do the cooking with ones you serve with, or the utensils that you eat with, for food safety. They don't really tell you that, but it's a good idea. I can tell you the bolete mushroom, cooked up really, really nice. I honestly, this first round, I probably undercooked a lot of stuff, particularly the seafood. I didn't want to overcook it, and as a result, I ended up undercooking it. The slipper lobster and the Sri Lankan crab were still, they were kind of gloopy, and once I actually busted them open, I think if I had cooked them for a little longer, they might have firmed up a bit. But
The Kalbi beef was marinated quite well. That was delicious, as was the Wagyu short rib. Obviously, pretty much Wagyu hooves are going to be delicious. So, Wagyu short rib. It was a cut of Wagyu that I haven't had before, so I had to try it, and it was quite good. Very, very tender, very, very flavorful. Just slightly less tender than some of the primer cuts, obviously, but it cooked up quite well. The tri-tip was okay, I guess. It came out kind of, well, it basically disintegrated on the grill, so I ended up with little bits. Also in the seafood here that you see me cooking, there are a couple of spot prawns on there as well. And like I said, I probably could have cooked those for a little bit longer. I was a little nervous about overcooking them, and as a result, I undercooked them. My third plate was a little smaller, consisted of uncured pork belly bacon, a couple leaves of bok choy, just as sort of a nod to, having something green on my plate, teriyaki chicken, spicy bulgogi beef, tiger prawns, and some more of the razor clams. No, did I mention in the previous plate? I had some razor clams there, which were probably the best of the seafood that I had. Just really, really sweet, really tender, absolutely delicious. Yeah, the crab. So there's a big thing in Singapore of having the Singaporean or Malaysian style chili crab. There's also a different version of a black pepper crab, and it is a whole crab in shell, pre-cracked for you, stir-fried in this sweet chili sauce. And it's delicious just by the by, which is why they typically will sell it for about $80 a serving. And you get a whole crab and some utensils and a bib, because it is one of the singularly messiest meals that I've ever had in my life. And even trying to be kind of careful and finicky with it, you do end up looking like a toddler by the end of the evening. It's just the nature of the beast. It's delicious. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of money. And I just didn't dine in any place that had the official thing. So I had a small Sri Lankan crab. It was probably, I'm guessing, maybe 6 inches wide. So barely legal as far as a crab you catch in the U.S. And not a whole lot of meat when you come right down to it. So I did not have the full chili crab experience. I was able to crack this tiny little crab, get some pieces of crab meat, and dip them in the chili sauce that I have off to the side. Not quite the same. Delicious. The sauce itself is slightly spicy, somewhat sweet, tomato-based, with kind of scrambled eggs stirred through it. So it's sort of almost like an egg drop soup sort of sauce. It was delicious. It was not the same experience. So I will have to go back to Singapore and specifically go out and get chili crab and or black pepper crab. But in any case, this third plate, the uncured pork belly bacon, I mean, it's bacon. You kind of can't go wrong. Bok choy, sure. I cooked it just until it was, wilted and just a little bit charred, but not really like toasty and charred. So still was very fresh, and it cooked in a lot of the juices with the meat that it was paired with on the piece of foil there. So it picked up some of those flavors. It was delicious. Teriyaki chicken was okay. It was teriyaki chicken. I don't know that I've ever had any teriyaki chicken that was exactly exciting. It was tasty, but teriyaki chicken. The spicy bulgogi beef was not too spicy, but it was quite delicious, as were the tiger prawns and razor clams. You do have to reserve a certain amount of time to get the cooking done.
Final thoughts on the Three Peacocks buffet restaurant. Delish. It's a buffet. There are some aspects that are higher quality than others. It's a little more than I like paying for a buffet, but I'm cheap, so don't let that fool you. For 55 Singaporean, which call it 45, 42, 45-ish American, it's an all-you-can-eat seafood buffet, and if you ask, they bring out the lobster, and it's included. So it's just alcohol, basically, that isn't included, but you can keep going back as much as you want, and I did. And now I have to waddle my way back to the train station, but I think well worth it. I enjoyed that. So, happy birthday to me. I'll talk to you later.